Well, my wife and myself recently moved to East Central Florida. We're in the Rockledge area. We're snowbirds. We're very aware of the vulnerability of the area to hurricanes. We didn't want to be up north for the summer season during the shank of the hurricane season down here and have there be a major problem with a power outage that would jeopardize the integrity of the house inside, what with mold and so forth, if there happened to be power out for the better part of a week. We'd be able to rest a lot easier if we had a generator down here while we were gone. One of my own clients, he said, get a Generac. And he said that without question. He said, I used to work for a Generac company. I said, well, what other options are there? He said, there are no other options. And he said, that's not because I work for the company and have a bias for the company. He said, it's because, in my experience, far and away, it's the best generator out there now. There's nothing that's second to it, he said, as far as he was concerned. I had just called another company in the area, an electric company in the area who installed Generacs. I signed in early January. It got to be February, then it got to be March, and I kept calling and saying, well, how come the permits process is taking so long? They would give me various reasons. Didn't seem right. In the interim, I had a service person come to the house to work on my air conditioning. I told him I was disappointed in the company I was contracting with. It seemed weird that the process was taking so long, and I kind of felt put off. So right away he said, you ought to call Eau Gallie. He said, I hear from people that my customers, that they're very satisfied with their work. I put in the call to Mary Ann. I told her my circumstance down here, that now I was in a time crunch. I was still contracted with the other company. I was perplexed as to why it was taking so long. From early January, here we are, we're like the third week in March or later, and we're going to be leaving in early May. You know, without a hard sell, she spent quite a bit of time with me on the phone. Was very understanding of my dilemma. Was not critical of the other company. Wasn't trying to get my business. But she did indicate, because it was late in the game, if I decided to make the jump, she and Jamie would work hard to, they couldn't promise me anything, but they said, there's a way we may be able to expedite the permit process and get you in under the wire before you leave. That's what we can do for you. And she seemed very accommodating and willing to do that. But the thing that was the clincher for me, and we hung up, but she was on the phone with me for about 20 minutes. After we hung up, she called back about 10 minutes later. And she said, I thought I'd put in a call to the town just to see when your permit was submitted. Because the other company had told me that it had been submitted in late January. And she said, I'm not trying to create a problem. I'm not trying to twist your arm and take business away from the other company, but we're in touch with the permit people all the time. And she said, your permit was not submitted until early March. She said, not only that, it was approved 6 days ago. And I hadn't heard from that company yet. And they knew I was on a time crunch. She said, again, I'm just giving you the facts, just so you know. And I thanked her, and I thought to myself, she didn't have to do that. She basically set me straight that I wasn't being given the right information and really wasn't being served well by the other company, honestly. So I did say to her, let's continue to talk. I'm going to try and get my money back, which I did, my deposit back from the other company. And said, let's get going. You know, I like the way you sound, and I know you're not making any promises you can't deliver on, but it sounds like you want to be on top of this. And so she got the process going, said I'll work with Jamie to try and expedite the permit. I can send Al over in the morning to give you an estimate, and we'll get going. And she was very much, she was very engaging and could put herself in my situation with the time crunch we had. And I decided I was going to go with them whether they could get it done sooner or after we left. And so it was very different than other businesses I've called. You know, I felt her concern, and I felt like, you know, they were willing to go the extra mile to get things done. The estimate was very clear. The steps that it would take, you know, from signing the contract to when various parts of the payment were expected, to work orders being carried out expeditiously and when they said they were going to be carried out. The availability of the office personnel, and when I called to ask questions, I mean, they just seemed very upfront, very available. And as you know, in a pleasantly surprising way, willing to go the extra mile to work with me. And I got the feeling that though they made haste with my project, that they treated all their customers like this. You know, and so it gave me confidence in working with them. So I would recommend Eau Gallie without reservation, because not only am I going to have the peace of mind of a good piece of generator equipment being installed, high quality, but I'm going to have confidence in the company in terms of the warranty, in terms of their part in following through, in terms of their part, at least the first year, I believe, in monitoring it to make sure it's up to speed while we're away. I mean, I know that we can do that ourselves through an app. It gave me a sense of trust and confidence in them as a business, and for the purpose I'm having the generator installed so that we can go north with peace of mind that we otherwise wouldn't have. They're good people. I mean, aside from being efficient, they're good people, and they treat you like they want to, you know, like they would want to be treated. And they seem to not only know what they're doing, but how to win a customer over by just being themselves without a hard sell. And you know, that's something a customer would respect. So I would recommend them, you know, without reservation.